Hello everybody, welcome to ERS Racing League. Once again, tonight we have the first race of our Season 8 Tier 9 on Texas Circuit. Today I'm joined by OliviaNecron. Say hello.
Hello there, nice to meet everyone.
So, today we will have another short format race. Let me quickly remove it so we can see what's going on. The qualifying is already going on. We have a one-shot qualifying, so basically, or a short qualifying format. Everybody will have around 17 minutes to set their fastest lap, and that will be used to set up the starting formation of the official race, which will be right after. Then we have a total of 17 drivers on the track right now, of which my co-commentator on the Tuesday, Jared, I will be rooting for him, of course. I believe that he is a pretty good driver. Maybe not the fastest on the track, but definitely has a lot of skill.
I'll make sure to keep his bias in check, don't worry.
Okay, good. So, the race just started right now. We will definitely see a few times rolling in. Everybody is right now busy warming up their tires, setting up the car the way they want. And we will hopefully see some good times close together. I totally forgot the music. Let me have pure engine noise. Beautiful. Yeah, this is your first time.
So which track do we have here today?
This is the Texas Circuit. It is a pretty high-speed track. At the start, there is a huge uphill at the end of the first straight, as we can see right here, which makes it extremely tricky to enter the first corner, since it's a rather sharp corner compared to the speed and the height change that you have. It makes it a pretty interesting circuit. Also, as we see Jared go right now, this is a very fast section with a lot of turns. One mistake, you're basically out of the track already. First time that will probably be set is Jared. He drove out the first and is also the first to start with his timed lap. He had a purple sector, but I think that got overtaken by maybe Dax Taxi.
So with me here, you're gonna get the I don't know what I'm talking about point of view on this. So you're probably gonna get some dumb questions asked. So
That's okay.
you guys are gonna have to bear with that. What does a purple sector mean?
Purple sector is basically the fastest time in that sector. The track is spread out with 3 sectors, and a purple sector means the person is the fastest on track on that part.
That makes sense.
So now, as you see, Dax Taxi just set the fastest lap. It is a purple time. That means he's the fastest one so far. But people can try to beat that. And as I said, the track is spread out in 3 sectors. So someone might have the fastest lap, but someone else can still have the fastest sector on the started part.
That makes sense.
As we can see at the top right, Jared right now in sector 3 at 1 minute 30.
Yeah, just looking at the small map in the corner, this one, there are some nice straightaways that look like they're going to be pretty forgiving, but then there's these sections that going to be highly technical, and I think we're gonna see some contact in there once we actually get into the race.
Oh, I feel that there will definitely be a little bit of contact. Right now we have 4 times in the already set. Oh, make that 5, 6, 7. Of which Dax Taxi still in P1 with a 131.8. 132 by AIE and Markov with a 133. Let's go on board with Golfer Morris right now. I don't think this will be his timed lap. What that still could be. Yeah, his lap got invalidated. So we'll definitely see another lap from him. On board right now with Riveting Ton. I don't really know.
So I know who you're rooting for,
yes.
But
who do
as far
you
as these
root
other
for?
racers, who's new to this? Who has done this before? Like, what are we looking at as far as experience and skill throughout our drivers today?
So the skill is definitely a very vast difference between most drivers, since this is considered like a slight amateur league. There is a lot of difference between the skill. For example, we have Jelmer, Dax Taxi, who are already well known within the ERS Racing League, who have a lot of experience under their belt. Also, same for Zongo. He also is a very experienced driver that we know, and I've seen a lot at the top of the tracks. But we also have just a few other drivers that are new, that are trying this out for the first time. So I am very interested to see what type of skill sets we have on track today.
Well, I am looking forward to it. Right now we have a pretty tight group of times that we're being set for our laps right now. All within about just under 4 seconds currently is our
Yes.
spread.
So, as we see right now, we have the most within the 133s and 134s. But what we're looking for, once again, is the 131s to see who will be at the top of the grid. But you might not have the knowledge of the racing skills. But you said you had a lot of knowledge about yapping and
Oh,
rambling.
absolutely.
Tell
But
me.
I wouldn't necessarily call it yapping. I'd like to say what I do is more akin to rambling. The main difference is that yapping is without a purpose and doesn't actually get anywhere. And in general, by the definition at least, I went on an entire tangent about this, looking at the definitions, because I've heard people use them interchangeably. And in a lot of cases, you can.
Mm-hmm.
But the main difference between yapping and rambling is that yapping is generally considered annoying. Rambling generally is not annoying and generally serves a purpose to get to a point.
Okay, because what I personally see rambling and yapping is just, oh yeah, you keep on talking, you like talking, and you do talking a lot. Rambling, it often seems like you pick one subject, you go on about it in sort of obnoxious way.
Interesting. You see in the opposite way.
That is what I maybe have in mind. Yeah.
Maybe just the way that I go about it. I try to make sure that when we go off on a ramble, we end up learning something in it. Even if it's the most obscure fact possible, we still end up learning something.
Yes, indeed. Right now,
I'm seeing
let's.
that people are being really cautious with these sections now. They are not going on the edges at all.
Yeah, at some point, you see that we have curbs on the side of the track. You are allowed to go over them, but they can really increase the degrading of your tire. And what you want is to keep your tires as fresh and clean as possible, so you can do often the most laps on it. But the cleaner the tire, the faster the lap times. Actually plays a huge
How
role.
many pit stops are we expecting to see when we get to the actual race segment in about 10 minutes here?
So, since this is a 50% race, one pit stop is required to finish the race and be legally in the points. Otherwise, the points or the positions, you will basically be disqualified of the race. But I feel like the main pit stops amount we will see is one, but I think we will definitely see two pit stop come up. That is what we
Okay.
often see. You often see the people more in the back at the end of the race swap to a soft tire to snatch the fastest lap. That also counts as a point towards the standings in the season that we have right now. Zongo, the last, one of the last to set a time, also the fastest with a 10th of a second difference with the P2. Right now we have Anton, Jordy, the CEO of this racing league, and Golfer Morris right now on this outlap. The way the outlap works is you have one lap to warm up your tires and really get in the flow, and they have the other lap really push to the limits at the fastest lap possible. As we can see right here, Golfer Morris just started this lap with the timer running at the top right. Jordy, our CEO, by the name Eros Racing League _ he will probably end up somewhere in the middle of the field. That's what I'm expecting. He often is around P12.
Well, we'll just see how this is going. These runs that we've been watching now for these later racers setting their times, they seem to be a little bit more comfortable around these curves. Maybe they got a bit more practice, but I don't feel like I see them lifting nearly as much as I've been seeing some of the other places.
Yes, definitely some sectors require more caution than the others, but it is also a way driving style. Other people, they take sharp turns to really use the throttle a lot and create a lot of wheel spin. Others are really smooth and try to take their turns as efficiently as possible. So,
Morris right here looks like they're one of those people that are trying to take it as smoothly and efficiently as possible. I can definitely get behind that.
yes, smoother lines often mean faster times. Hey, that rhymes.
Well, we'll just have to see how this one comes out.
Indeed. From what I can see right now, we have no purple sectors, but the time should be pretty good. He should be around the last two corners right now. I think he will get a 1:34. That's what I'm guessing.
Oh,
Oh,
lost a little bit of
132.
traction there. Well then.
That is still pretty good. P7 for Go for More. Right now, we still need have 2 people to set a time.
Other than the very last turn there, they
Yes.
look pretty confident throughout the entirety of the course and pretty consistent as well. I think that's going to serve them pretty well once we actually get to the main race.
Indeed, as someone who has driven around these tracks and sadly have received a lot of penalties for going off the track, I can say a 132.9 is a pretty solid time in general. But then you can see how very skilled these drivers are. That we have a lot of people in the 132s or even above.
Absolutely.
So Jalmer right now taking P1 away from Zongo with a 131.4. As we can tell, the track slowly warms up. Cars, people also get more comfortable around the track. Some have already been practicing this track for the entirety of the day, from what I understand. And others just hopped on. So as we can definitely see people get comfortable. Good. Right now we are watching Jigsy in the Red Bull on his out lap, really trying to warm his tires by weaving around corners. See what type of time he will be able to set in a bit. Also, to all the other people right now watching, you ever think, maybe I want to participate in one of the races, or would try to give commentating a shot on these races? Join our Discord in the description, and maybe we can see you on the track next.
That'll be one of me. This is my first time actually here doing a little bit of commentating, being
Oh!
your co-commentator today. Ooh, that was nasty.
Jigsy is really trying to get eating those tires, but a bit too much. Let's see if he gives others time. As you can see at the bottom right, this lap got invalidated, even though it's his warm-up lap. I think his next lap will also be invalidated, but I'm not certain. It might just count either way. But spinning is really not really what you want when you want to set a time, since your tires already under a lot of pressure when you slide out. A lot of profile will already be gone off of those tires.
I would imagine, since we are setting laps here and they're gonna get a pit before we get to the real race, I'm assuming everyone's running softs here.
Yeah, in theory, everybody, if they were to be smart, would be running softs, because medium tires, they degrade slower. But, of course, that means they have less grip. We can definitely have a look at the tires right now. As we can see, indeed, everybody is running soft tires, of which many have still 0 laps, so that's good.
Speaking of such, for
Yes.
the actual race, what kind of tires are you expecting to see? Are we expecting to see mostly mediums,
I think we will
hards?
definitely see mediums being used, and maybe hard tires. Soft tires can really degrade if you don't really have the fitting driving style for the circuit, because this circuit has a really unique style of driving that you need to do to really spare your tires. Otherwise, it will be under a lot of pressure. See, the best, as we can see, the best times of Harold, for example, he was driving on mediums on P13.
Well then. And because of that one mandatory stop, I don't know how long the tires last, but I'm guessing mediums in all the way then. Just because you do have that one mandatory pit, you're not just going to go for endurance and make up time for everybody else having to take a pit.
Jordy, in the comments right now or in the chat, which tire shall you start on? I think, of course, right now, set a time on your soft tires and then maybe swap to the mediums or hard, so you don't have to pit as early as maybe the rest that start on the softer tires. But it is up to you. The track will really warm up a lot. Texas is often known as a hot track, so maybe, you know, the tires will warm up pretty fast. Ooh, Jigsy was on a pretty fast time. Now his lap already got invalidated. All right. Ready to see Jordy on the track. He says, will do. Oh. AI almost spinning by the entry of the pit. That's not something you want. All right, good luck, Jordy. Let's spectate him. He said, here we go. He's driving out right now. You see a lot of people entering and exiting the pits. So we still see for these last 2 minutes of the qualification, there are still
Cutting it close here for getting these last 2 times in for our last two racers, Antone and Jordy, who
Yes,
is
Jordy.
in the ERS Racing League _ account.
Yes, they are all right beside each other. All or both of them are going on their warm-up lap right now. They really need to make this count. I don't think. Oh, Anton overtaking Jordy, but I do think they should be able to settle up. But if you mess up slightly during your timed lap, I doubt they have enough time to do another lap. So they need to make this
No,
count.
unless they're going to be setting some world records here. I think the fastest I've ever seen someone pull on this track, and that would be my friend that may be co-commentating with me if I decide to do this solo. Uh, the fastest time I've seen them ever sit on this was a 1:29.8.
Yes, that is really in ideal conditions. Today for this race, we have realistic conditions. So sometimes the track will be colder or a bit different in second. Ooh. Okay, that is not good. Jordy has received a 5-place grid penalty because he got in contact with Zongo in P3, who is also on his outlap. That is not a thing you want to see. He will either have to cook up a good time or he will start last place. As we will now see people retiring from the session, that means they have set a time they are happy with, or they think they won't be able to beat in the time given, and we will definitely see them in the race in a bit. Let's see if the field is changing. Hello, Ariane. How you doing? On a good lap, 3/10 up. Hell yeah. Oh, and then you invalidated at the last corner. Yeah, that is not something you want to see. Hopefully, at least you know that the pace is pretty good. Ah, Jixie. Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Is a bit weird. You do have that long straight where you feel like you can build up a lot of speed, but then you got to tone it down really quickly in order to get around there without losing control.
Yes, this track is really a lot of difference between slow speed, high speed corners. Really demands a lot of attention of the drivers. But yeah, Jixie, that is unfortunate. At least you know that you have pretty good pace for the official race in a bit. Hope to see you up there, maybe on the podium soon.
I don't know if I'm too analytical, but I for one kind of want to see the telemetry on these guys. See what they're doing, if they're feathering, kind of what they're up to.
You can see right here that they are on their outlap. You can see the throttle. You can see the braking that they do. You can see the revs that they are on. The ERS, the battery that they have, that's basically a short boost that they can activate. And also the DRS, that is the back wing that they can open up to allow more airflow.
Seen that happen once or twice when I've seen that wing move. What does opening up the DRS, that back wing, do for them?
The back wing often creates more drag, which makes the car go slower in general, but it allows the car to have way more grip through the rest of the course. And on those long straights where you don't really need to grip for cornering or anything else, then you can use it to open up, allow more airflow, and allow the engine to get higher speeds with less work.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we now see the last few people setting up the times. Sadly, we see Jordy in last place. And we will now slowly load into the race itself. So I hope to see some very, very interesting driving styles and racing moves right here. As we can see, everybody on the softs, we have Dax Daxi P1, Jelmer P2, and Zongo P3, all insanely fast drivers, already known within the ERS Racing League. And let's go down. We have at the bottom Jordy, Jared, Mutty, and I guess we're gonna call him Wakey.
This is gonna be a pretty close and pretty technical race. We only have a 5-second gap in these initial laps between first position and very last.
Yeah, we have Jordy in the chat saying Zongo must be angry I was on his racing line. Yeah, I think you were, if that means you got the 5-place grip penalty. But okay, right now we're looking at the very, very beautiful pit lane with all the beautiful, all in the same animation crowd.
Hey, don't make fun of them. They're doing their
They're
best.
doing their best sharing on
Don't
our
tell me you don't
drivers.
tell me you could mocap an entire crowd.
I think I could definitely do better than this, but I do not have the energy to put in it. So I will. Wake is fine. All right, that's good. Well, now I know how to call Wake as well. He is also in the chat. Hello, hello. Good to see our drivers here. We
It
should
looks like everybody's making their final adjustments, and we'll be getting to the race. And
soon.
is there usually a timer for this, or just kind of when the race
Yeah.
coordinator says everything's ready, let's go?
Everybody is right now connecting, loading in. I assume that if all the cars have loaded in, there we go. We can see the grid right now with all the cars in this place right now. First, they will be doing a formation lap, which allows them to warm up their tires and also, of course, just drive around, be cool, weave around, indeed, mainly warming up your tires, and then they will go back on the grid to officially start the race. Hello, Gray. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. It looks like my chat is invading yours now.
Oh, that is no problem at all. We're all welcoming here. We have people from all over the world participating and normally also viewing. So, hello, everybody. I'm PixelThomas. I am a very small streamer who does it mainly just for fun few times.
And I'm OliviaNecron. I am also a streamer, but I also write stories and I do some ASMR. All those fun things.
And I assume you have a better streaming schedule than I do.
Hit or miss.
Hit or miss, all right. As we just saw right now at the bottom, they have an estimated pitting strategy. We will have the medium tires and also the hard tires that will definitely be used. But I feel we will also see a few soft tires here and there. Mainly to go for the fastest laps.
As you said, I think it's going to really depend on driving style, what we end up seeing, and how long they're able to make the mediums last.
Yes, as we will probably see, as the longer the tires go on, the less grip you will have. So we will definitely see some cars sliding about and maybe going a bit wide. But I hope to see a lot of close action right now.
And gonna get a little nerdy here, since
Yes.
this is a small amount that I actually do know, is that when we say soft tires, they literally are softer, so they make more contact and friction and can more efficiently transmit the power into the ground.
Yes.
So there you go. There's your signs as to why they are the way that they are.
Yeah,
They're
so
called softs because they actually are.
they are in theory way softer, and the softer the wheels are, the more they act like glue on the track. The way they get extremely hot, the way the car pushes down on the surface, they really act like glue on the track. So the softer the tires, you just basically stick on it and can't really let go.
But also the more that the asphalt is going to wear away at them, so you can't use them for nearly as long.
Indeed. But great, Cat. Good to hear that you are doing awesome. Richie says, hi, Olivia.
Hello
Alright.
there.
Race start. A second now.
We're getting out of our comfort zones today, and I think a few of our new drivers will be too. So
Lights out, and away we go. Let's see what will go on. We will have our eye on the front of the pack right now. Hopefully we'll see close racing. Not enough crashes. We do see already contact with Zongo being pushed to the outside of the track.
and already getting out of the track just a little bit.
Yeah, we especially at the start, everybody is extremely close together, looking for an opportunity
This is the
to
section
overtake.
that I was the most worried about, seeing people go through for the first lap.
Yeah, but what we can see from the lap data at the bottom right, everybody has made it through in one piece and hasn't really spun out. We have a lot of people really close together. As we can see right here, they're already forming a very nice train. It will take a few laps for the DRS to be enabled, which will make it even more tactical. We have a few people going wide, such as Jigsy, going off the track. But so far, so good. Indeed, at the bottom, possible race strategies. I think everybody is on the medium tire right now. We can see that. I think. There we go. Everybody on the mediums except for AIE and ERS, as I said, or recommended on the hard tire. That means he will be able to go longer without going for a pit stop.
I'm not an expert at this, but that seems like a decent strategy to me. Get a good, consistent going on the track right now with hards for the majority of the race, and then finish it off with mediums when everybody else is a little bit more mentally fatigued and you can put a little bit more into it and push it just a little bit harder, eke out those places.
Oh, we already have a DNF from the session. Goal for Morris has DNF'd, said, okay, this is not working for me.
Oh no.
Or he might have some connectivity issue. Oh, we have Jared, who has spun out at the very last corner. Hopefully he'll be able to make it back to the pack. But with the strategies, it is also a kind of a gamble. What you can think is, okay, if I go for the softer tire now, I'll be able to... Oh, we have a huge spin out at the back, I think. They are driving still. But yeah, with the softer tire, you can say like, okay, I am able to push more speed and more pace out of these tires, but they will degrade faster. So will that time that you gain over the harder tires win out the time that you basically lose if you were on the harder tires? The same for the harder tires. If you were to go for long enough, the other people already have fresher tires, which means they have a lot more pace compared to you.
In my mind, this is really a how do you weigh that one mandatory pit stop that you have to make?
Exactly.
In my head is how this is, because as fast as it is, that's still precious time. Just having to go slow in the pit lane, even that's a lot of precious time there that can lose quite a few places. So if you can strategize such that you don't have to take long there, you're only taking one stop, and yeah, as we can see from the possible strategies, the two strategies are don't have the stop, don't lose places there, or keep your tires as fresh as possible throughout the whole thing.
Indeed, a pit stop should take around 20 to 30 seconds, so you really have to keep that in mind. Other people will also go with pit stops, and maybe they will try and take a pit stop earlier than you, so they can then fly past you on fresher tires as you are going for the pit stop on older tires. That is called an undercut and also an overcut. That means going for longer than the opponent so that you can gain more time and hopefully basically a free pit stop with time gained from it.
I don't know about you, but I think I would be very much going for the endurance, going for as long as possible, trying to just keep consistent and make sure I gain as many places as possible before having to do that pit change.
Yes, but for that, that is a very good strategy to go with. But of course, when you go battle for positions, as we see Dax Taxi right now, using his DRS to overtake Jelmer, if you are within traffic and you really have to fight for positions, that will also increase the wear on your tires.
Absolutely.
See, we still have a lot of people very close together. Jared right now 9 seconds on P17, away from Jordy and P16. But then we have at the front of the pack almost everybody within attacking range, within the second, except for Anton and P7 and Wake in P2 or P12.
Now it's looking like the most time is being both gained and lost here in section 3 with that with those two really tight technical turns.
Yes, it's all about getting a good entry and also a very good exit, maintaining a lot of speed so you can fly off faster than hopefully your opponent. But we already have Char right now in the pits. He is on the medium tires. He might have gotten a bit of damage. It seems like his front wing indeed got a bit of damage. That will be replaced right now. Let's hope he'll be able to win some time that he lost right now. But being in the pits means he has fresher tires, but sadly also had a longer pit because he had damage on his front wing.
Is he still on mediums, or has he swapped to maybe hards here?
We can see he has swapped to hard tires. You can see that off the white ring on the tires.
I think he might be doing what I'm thinking here, and he's like, I had damage anyways. We're gonna swap to hards. We're just gonna go for the endurance here. I think that might be the play. We will just have to see how the race goes on, though.
We will see if it pays off. I absolutely adore those fast-paced corners, especially since we're looking at Char right now, who is basically alone on the track. Just see the cars weaving through. These corners are so much fun, but so technical.
They look absolutely terrifying.
They are, as a matter of fact, but in a good way. All right. On board right now with Jixie, who will be within the second. enable this DRS. Hopefully you'll be able to win some time on the cars in front of them, who sadly also have DRS, which means they are basically about the same. Here they go through the faster corners. Let's see all these cars. We see Jigsy losing a tiny bit of traction.
Looks like everyone made it through that one safely.
Yes, but now we enter the fast corners. Look at the cars fly around at such high speeds. As he is getting closer and closer to the stake in front of him, driven by Zongo, who is a very renowned driver within the RS Racing League. So far, we haven't seen any big crashes or contact. We do see a few cars going wide, such as Jigsy's car right now. Oh,
I am wondering how that front wing damage came to be. We didn't see that. We didn't see that at all.
We didn't see that at all, but oftentimes the camera can only see so much. Right now we have Jared also in the pits. Let's see what he went for. He went for the hard tires as well. Harold just now overtaken Wake.
Oh, whoa.
Kind of pushing him out, but Wake still getting on track, going for the switchback. Now back in front of Wake now back in front of Harold. Let's see if Harold will be able to fight back for it.
These are going to be some difficult corners to fight around here. They're a little bit too tight for places to really be gained. Time, absolutely. Places, I don't think so.
Yes, we also have Jigsy receiving a 3-second penalty, probably for going a bit too wide, getting the track limits done. Oh, Jared retired. I do not know what happened there. He probably spun out or crashed. I think he might have crashed since he still had colder hard tires.
Oh, no.
That is not good for my co-commentator.
Very not good.
Very indeed not good.
I was rooting on that.
But yeah, we have Harold right now overtaken Wake through the final straight with the DRS that enabled him to get a lot more speed to enter the corner with. But still, we have Wake not being willing to let go of that position. We have Daxi overtaking Jelmer for P1 right now. Let's see if Jelmer is able to fight back. He is already on half a second back.
What's this little clump of four that we have right behind this?
What do you mean?
We have a nice grouping of cars, 1 or 2 positions back. That's
Indeed.
like 4. No, yeah, that's a 4-car grouping right there. What positions are these?
These are from P3 to, I think, P6, all fighting basically for the podium position. Because we have Markov right here on a 2.6 second gap between him and P2. And we just have a long train of other cars right behind, all using their DRS to stay close to Markov.
This first turn here, I think that's just going to be the great equalizer here, because as I'm seeing the race go on, everyone's getting more and more conservative. Every single lap I see them take, I'm seeing everybody take that more and more conservatively. I think everybody's scared of that first uphill turn.
That uphill turn is extremely hard to really get into if you really want to push for time. But you also have to think, if I really want to push for time, that means the car will drain faster with the fuel, but also the tires will degrade faster. So what you really need is either like slow down a bit with the entry and exit of the corners to really maintain the tires. And you just really want to get enough speed to help you out of that corner, so you don't really have to accelerate as much as you do.
I know you mentioned they have some electrics. Could those electrics help them on that very first really difficult turn there?
The electrics are mainly just like an extra boost, an extra motor to help you propel yourself forward faster and hopefully win some time compared to your opponent. That often is called the overtake button because it's often used to overtake the opponent.
Because in my head, I feel like this is my very limited knowledge of like what my cars is. They have the electrics in the front, so as you come out of the turn, it just pulls you.
Yes, these cars do have rear-wheel drive, so that means if you basically manage your throttle wrong, that just sends your car spinning out.
I see. So are those electrics also in the back, not in the front?
Yes, they are.
Okay, okay, that would explain why I'm not seeing that happen, because that would not have the right effects.
We also have Mati right now, also with the DNF. He probably spun out through the very slow section of the track. We have 3 people with penalties so far. We now have still 15 people on track right now. We have Zongo trying still to overtake Markov for P3. Markov slowly losing time compared to P1 and P2. Whoa, getting extremely close already, but let's see if Zongo has a better exit. Seems like they had about an even exit. He has DRS. Hopefully getting closer, as we can see, but it won't be enough
Looks
to
like we're
overtake, I
closing
think.
in, but oh,
Yeah, he built out.
maybe.
He got extremely close, but he wasn't able to keep it stick. But still, we have the second DRS zone coming up through these very tight but technical corners. See if he is able to make it work. We are right now coming through the final last 2 corners of the track. Hopefully then we'll see some overtaking action.
They look locked on each other. I don't think anyone's gaining positions here. They are pretty evenly matched.
Yes, but the difference right now is Markov doesn't have DRS, but so does Songo does. So let's see. I think he's able to get close, but he won't be able to make it stick. Let's see if they get a good exit or entry. It looks like they are about equally matched, but right now we also have Riveting Ton also right behind. Not as close
I
as
think
the two in
Markov
front.
got a slightly better exit out of T1 there than Django.
I think so. They are still like about the same as they did before this lap. We also have big old Bicky right here, also looking for an opportunity to overtake Womax, who is also trying to overtake Antone in front of him. Extremely close, getting very close to back bumper. Let's see, Womax taking a defensive line, but they got Bicky right here. Trying to actually get past through that corner. He wasn't able to make it work, and now sadly lost quite some time compared to the one in front of him. We still have now Markov, who was overtaken by Zongo, trying to get his position back. AIE with 3-second penalty, probably due to track limits. So after you've seen these people drive around the track right now, who are you rooting for?
At the moment, as kind of my kind of rooting favorite at the moment, currently Markov. They've been very, very consistent with their laps and very much pushing the limits, barely touching those curbs, and just it feels like they've been pushing it very hard, but very consistently at the same time. So
Yes.
I think that consistency is going to work out great for them.
Right now,
Oh,
as we can
Django
see,
just overtook. I didn't see where that happened.
yeah,
but Django was
Zongo
overtaken.
already overtook Markov just now. As we can see, the top 5 right now are in the same starting positions, or same position as they started in right now, with Jigsy winning a position compared to AIE for P6 and P7. We see a lot of position changes at the back of the field, where also most of the action was taking place, especially in the first few laps. We now also have Jigsy looking to overtake Rivington still. We quickly remove these. There we go, so we have a clean viewing experience. On board the DRS zone they have just entered, but Rivington also has the DRS. Oh, Markov now overtaking Zongo. Let's see if Zongo is able to fight back for his position that he just gained. Meanwhile, we have Dax, Daxi, and Jelmer way ahead. 6-second gap between P2 and P3.
Markov's doing a good job of defending their position here.
This is a great battle that we are seeing. It has been going on for, I think, about 6 laps already of the 10 laps we have done so far.
Yeah, we still have a tight battle between P3 through P6, and it's been that way since I think the first lap.
Yes, it has been, I think. See Zongo right now closing in on Markov again since he has DRS, getting extremely close. Let's see who will have the better exit. I think Markov had a pretty good exit, but Zongo took more speed through the corner. So he's still sticking pretty close. Let's go through the high-speed corners. Look how fast this is. They can't go full throttle. They can't really go braking as well, so they really have to throttle manage their way through these corners. Beautiful. Beautiful work.
Django's really kissing those curves, trying to make up time there.
Yes, but still he lost 2/10 through those corners. But still, they are all extremely close. This is what we call a DRS train, since they are all entering the DRS zone right now. You can see the front person doesn't have DRS, but the other three are using DRS to get close again. Let's see if we see some overtaking. I doubt it, but they all stay around the same time. Extremely close to each other, all 3/10 away from each other. Oh, we have Mattis losing a position to Anton. And we have... Oh, I just swapped away from this. Jigsy overtaking Rivington. That's a bummer. Taxi with a 3-second penalty as well. We are seeing quite some penalties. The way the penalties will are given out is probably due to the track limits.
It looks like P1 and P2 are in the pit now.
Yes, let's see. I probably think Jelmer went into the pits and... or... was it? Yeah, I think it was Dex actually going into the pits and Jelmer saying, okay, you know what? I'll do it too. So we both have the same fresh tires. These are the first, not the first, but I feel like one of the first pit stops when it comes to the front runners right now. Let's see when the rest of the field will be able to do it, because so far they are really using the DRS that Markov is providing, but yet nobody is really given a good chance to overtake.
Mark, I see as a highly technical driver, so I don't think he's going to give them much room to breathe.
Indeed, these are all drivers on top of their game right now, trying to keep their car on the track, but also trying to win time. And they also have someone behind, so they're also trying to defend their positions. We see Zongo right now overtaking Markov through that corner. Beautiful work at the end of the DRS zone. Now through the slow but technical corners, and then we will be going to the final straight again. Which will probably mean Markov getting extremely close to Zongo again.
I have a feeling we're going to be watching this pair through the rest of the entire race, Django and Markov fighting back and forth for places.
It probably will be. So they have been within a second the entire time. Markov and Zongo, all four going into the pits. And we see a few 10-second penalties being dealt out because they entered the pits with too much speed. Oh no. They will either have to sit that one out on a second pit stop, or they will just drive on top of their game to see if they can win 10 seconds compared to the person behind. Once again, we have Naxi and Jelmer, P2, P3, and AIE, who still hasn't pitted, I think. Let's see. Yeah, without a pit stop on P1, with only Dax Taxi a second behind.
I think they're going to try and lengthen that lead just a little bit, and probably going to pin the next lap or two here.
That should be the ideal one. Even though he is driving on hard tires, it still could mean that they just lose too much time compared to the rest. As you can see, Dax Taxi right now.
It's all about consistency at this point, and what point that getting those fresh tires is going to be the most advantageous. Indeed.
Right now, we already saw AIE saying like, okay, Taxi behind me is already too fast. I'm just going to give him the space to pass. And then I'm going to stick behind so he can use the slipstream and hopefully, I feel, the DRS zone in the upcoming corner. Unless he decides to go and pit. We have Jelmer slowly closing in. Staying around the same time, however. Now let's see Zongo still looking to overtake Markov again. These two have been fighting. Mattis right now overtaking Jordi, who is on the hard tires. And I think Mattis is... oh, also on the hard tires, but I think these are fresher. Let's see. Yes, these are fresher hard tires, so he is already losing a little bit of time, but he has gained a few positions compared to his starting position. Dexter right now with the fastest lap. But as we see, almost a lot of people within the top 10 have received penalties. See if people sit them out.
My guess is with those penalties, they're gonna try and sit it out in the pits while they swap to softs for the very last leg of the race.
Yes.
Is what my intuition is telling me.
At the very end of the pitting, at the very end of the race means you're not doing it for the position, but mainly for the fastest lap. Fastest lap gives out a point, which can really be used. We see more penalties being given out. I think we should be able to see the penalties. Yeah, we have Daxi with 3 seconds, AIE 3 seconds, Markov as well, Riveting Ton with 13-second penalty, Jixie with 12, Anton with 3, and then Big E with 6. Those are quite the penalties. Oh, Riveting Ton right now overtaking Anton, I think. Or no, Jixie overtaking Riveting Ton on the straight, using the DRS to overtake with a lot more speed. Jalmer, in the meantime, has overtaken AIE, who is still on the hard tires. Still hasn't pitted. Let's see when he will go into the pits. That is very interesting. Not this round. I think he will be going for quite a while longer. Because let's see
how many laps do you think you could do on softs on this track?
Ooh, I wouldn't know. I think 10 tops.
I think that might be what he's going for. I think he's going to try and last out 3 or 4 more laps and then go for soft.
Yes, the hard tires often do like half more, but really depends on the track.
Well, seeing how he hasn't pitted yet, where I feel like around now would be the time that he would swap to probably mediums or whatever he's going to finish the race in. I think he's trying to wait it out, seeing how long he can push these tires before he has to go for that pit.
I see Nathan in the chat. Hello, how are you doing? Also, something people might be waiting on is we have a thing called safety car. If a car crashes and there are parts on the track, a safety car will be enabled, or at least a yellow flag around that sector. And if the safety car is there, we either have a virtual one or a real safety car. That means pitting will lose you less time. So he might also be aiming for that there might be a safety car that he will pit with less time lost during.
And so if I'm not mistaken, once the safety car comes out, everybody has to go at a reduced speed until that safety car exits.
Indeed, we have a delta speed, which I do not know on this track, but yeah, everybody has the same top speed that they can do. Nobody can win or lose positions unless they go in the pits, but since everybody is driving slower, you lose less time, and you also get a chance to get back to the pack if you lost a few positions with it. We have Anton right now, who probably spun out, losing 4 positions. Anton used to be fighting with
How the race has been going
Mathis.
so far, I'm actually not expecting to see any crashes this race.
We had a few going on in the back. We had 3 crashes so far, which we sadly didn't see.
Sadly didn't see. Are those our 3 DNFs back there? Okay.
I know that Jared and Matty sadly crashed, which Matty in the very slow technical corners. I do not know exactly where Jared sadly. We do see a lot of action. We see Jixie really looking for an opportunity to overtake Zongo, who is still fighting and seeing if he can keep up with Markov. These 4 have been racing for the past, I'd say, 15 laps. Ooh, Biggie, 3-second penalty.
Right now, Markov is currently my personal favorite in the pack at the moment, just being consistent and technical here.
We have damage.
Very nice pass.
We have damage right now. We had Jixie trying to overtake 2 people at once, but sadly getting a little bit of contact. Let's hope his front wing is still okay. It looks okay, and we have another part of contact. Damage has been slightly reduced, however, so the car or the front wing doesn't break entirely from that little interaction between the cars. So right now we have Zongo ahead, Markov half a second behind. So Zongo made the pass at the end of the DRS zone. Now we go into the other DRS zone. Markov is getting extremely close already. Let's see if he's able to make it work. As we can see, he's getting closer, but he won't be able to make it stick. Going around the corner and now through the fast zigzag, slalom, whatever you want to call it.
I do believe Psalm is the technical term for this part right here.
Yes, but I think if we were to make up some good names, I'd like to call that section the wee woo, because the car goes wee and woo.
We're gonna have to hop into the cockpit of one of these cars so I can listen to that. I want to hear the wee woo.
You know, this is the wee. Then
Okay.
the other way is the woo.
So it's the wee woo section.
Yeah,
Got
it's
it.
basically the wee woo section. All right, we have Markov again getting extremely close over the arrest zone, overtaking Zongo. These two have been going back and forth, basically pushing each other forward. We have AIE now 10 seconds behind on the medium tires. He pitted a few laps ago, and he is now, I think, with his little tactic, he has gained. No, never mind. He has lost one position. Never mind. It was a gamble he was taking by taking so long to pit.
It's a gamble, but he still does have fresher tires.
Yes. Now,
So
right now
we'll
he
see
has
if
the
that pays
fresher
off.
tires, and we can already see how he has won over half a second with only a section of the track, compared to Jigsy, who is a position in front. It is,
And he is still pretty steadily gaining on that, so
yes.
can't wait to see how that pans out.
It is an entire 9 seconds, though. That is nothing to be laughed at. That is quite the gap. But if
Absolutely
he keeps
not. We
going,
only have 10 laps left, so 9 seconds. That's at least a second per lap he has to make up there.
indeed. So let's see if he is able to make it work. It seems like he gained a second in I'd say like 3/4 of the lap. So I think he has a good chance to maybe fight back his position. Oh, we have Anton, who has decided to retire. I don't see his car stuck on the track, so I think he went into the pits. That. Alright, Song right now on 7/10 of a second. Hopefully he's able to win some time since he was barely in the DRS zone. We have Jigsy and Rifting Tongue also trading positions like usual. Ooh, getting extremely close. Let's see the slow technical section once again. This is the section where the most things can go wrong. Now we go to another few sections, and then we have the final straight. Let's see if another position change is being able to be done there. That isn't correct English, but I don't really care.
I can barely English myself. Don't worry about it.
All right, let's see. We have Zongo quite far away, closing in. We have Rivington closing in much more. But from what I can see, it won't be able to make it stick. So yeah, basically when you go up to the opponent, you decide, okay, am I going for the gap that is there, or am I backing out and waiting for a better moment? Sometimes the gamble can pay off, where you say, okay, I go for this gap, and sometimes it can end pretty horrible. Maybe ending the race for you or both of you. We have a lot of more penalties being dealt. Let's have a look. Yes, we have Jigsy with a 24-second penalty. Rivington with a 16-second penalty.
Oh my gosh.
These are wrecking it up. So we will definitely see some position changes at the end of the race when all the final standings will be calculated with the times.
It's been a while since we checked on P1. Shall we check on P1 real quick?
He is 7 seconds ahead, driving basically on his own around these corners. We have Jalmar also just on his own with a 7-second gap ahead of him and a 9-second gap behind. Because Zongo and Markov have been battling this entire time.
Both of them, I see them constantly just about to lose traction there. They are pushing their cars as hard as possible right now.
Yes, it is definitely extremely tiring for the tires, but also for the drivers, since they really have to focus on keeping their car on the track, driving as fast as possible, but also closing the gap or the opportunity that the other opponent has right behind him. That is called driving defensively, and that is basically closing the gap that there is for the other car to pass you. That means often going off the driving line or the racing line and losing a little bit of time. If done correctly, you can keep the car behind you for extremely long times, but it's extremely tiring for the mind of the driver as well, who has to keep their focus.
Which we have been getting to see on and off through the entire race between Django and Markov here.
Yes, we have already been going for 20 laps. And this battle has been going on since the very start of this race. You don't really see this often. Oftentimes, the field often spreads out a bit. As we can see, we have large gaps for the most part, but we also have extremely small gaps between. So we see right now, we said we had 10 laps to go, and we have AIE almost winning 3 seconds on the people in front, who are all battling still. We have both position changes, JXC winning a position and Markov winning a position, compared to Zongo, who is still not willing to let go. They were side by side right now. Let's see if he is able to stick around. Extremely close, taking the smoother line, having more exit speed. But this section of the track is just too tight to really overtake. Almost everybody on the track right now has penalties. This is a wild sight to see.
I don't think I've ever seen this many penalties be given out.
I think Monaco, which is deemed as the hardest track ever in the rain, had less penalties. In the rain, had less penalties than this.
How?
I do not know.
Monaco without rain. My friend forced me, the one I might be co-commentating with. My friend forced me to do Monaco, and it was terrible.
Yes, I have personally tried Monaco in the rain without any assists on my own, and it took me about half
conditions. That was a terrible experience.
Yes, I experienced it, as I said, in the rain without any assists, and it took me half an hour to drive a timed lap. So basically, a time that counts, where I didn't touch a wall, where I didn't go across the line. It took me half an hour to set a valid lap.
The downhills on Monaco catch you off guard. You feel like you have way more space than you actually do.
Yes, street circuits are often known to be extremely tight and also unforgiving. As you can see right now on this track, there is a lot of space besides the track to maybe run off and get yourself back on track. But on street circuits, you really don't have that. Anyways, we have Markov right now, once again, trying to stick close, so he will have another opportunity to overtake on the final straight that is coming up in a bit. We have Wumux.
It looks like
and
we got a nice fight
positions.
between Wumix and Mathis going on right now.
Yes, these two have been close together a lot as well. What you often see is quite some more mistakes at the back of the field, which allow for a lot of more opportunities to overtake. Yeah, I don't think they will be able to make the overtake right here. But JXC also extremely close, not letting go. I think we will definitely see some position changes by the second straight, like we have seen for the past. I don't know. I don't remember how many laps. Right now we have Daxi, P1, with a 10-second gap to P2. And also almost a 10-second gap between P2 and P3.
What are Django and Markov running right now? I know they both pit. I don't remember if we saw what tires they're running.
The hard tires. They are basically right now aiming for the end game. They have done that since they decided to go in the pits, right, to go on the hard tires so they can finish on those same tires. Ooh, we had Markov making an extremely tight overtake on Zongo at the end of the straight as predicted.
I almost thought we were going to have contact there, but just nearly missed it.
Indeed. So far, I just want to give massive props to, especially for P3 to P6. They have done insanely well so far. Char, by the way, has retired from the race. Decided like it's not gonna work out. So right now we have 13 drivers on the grid. AIE hasn't really gained many positions or many seconds since then. I think for about the last 2 laps it has stayed around the same, but right now he just gained half a second in one sector. Let's see if he's able to keep that and maybe get on this the battle that is going on in front of him. We have caution in Sector 1. I do not know. Oh, yeah. I think that was Gar's car that was driven by the AI. Harold going into the pits, which is interesting to see. He'll probably lose his position to Jordy.
I'm
They are
guessing they're gonna
teammates.
be going for fastest lap at this point.
That might be the goal. Let's have a look. Indeed, the soft tires are being pulled out. A new front wing will be fitted on there as well. That means he had made contact somewhere. But this means...
Is that how you're knowing the tires? Is it a different color that's on the
Yes,
on
so
the rims?
the red ones are softs, yellow are medium, white are hard tires. Then we also have green and blue. Those are used when it rains on track. Those are the intermediates, and those are the full wets.
Got it, got it.
See if the battle stays on. We had Zongo 6/10 behind, gaining 1/10, but already losing it slightly. Let's see if he's able to keep to Markov before the next DRS sector or zone. We have Mattis still looking to overtake Womax also for P9. Let's look on board with Harold. Should be one of the fastest cars on the track right now. Even though he might not be as fast as the people in P1 and P2, for example. Just the way the red tires or the softs give him so much more grip. It should still mean he is hopefully faster than the people at the front of the pack, I'd say. We have Jakesy and Rivington overtaking each other at the end of the DRS sector, but Zongo wasn't able to make it stick. So let's see if he is able to make it work with the second one. So far, I don't think we have... I've only seen 1 or 2 overtakes at the end of the finish straight. But maybe
that finish straight, because you have to slow down so drastically to not spin out there. I think if there's a big enough difference in skill, there can be an overtake. But with these two being so close in skill the entire race, 25 laps fighting these two positions, I don't think we're going to be seeing overtakes on that last turn.
Yes, but right now we have Jakesy on the side of Rivington. Let's see if he's able to make it work. It seems so. We have Rivington going around the inside now, side by side, ready to go through the slalom, still side by side, which is crazy to see.
Let's see if he's going to make it stick.
Whoa, okay, Rivington takes the position, but Jigsy is right behind. Ooh, okay, disqualified from section. He has received too many penalties as we saw him go cut across the corner. Yeah, okay, that is a bummer. That is a bummer. Mid-battle being pushed around.
That was a really good fight there.
That was an insanely good fight. But that means Rivington is now in P5, and AIE basically gained a kind of a free position. Oh, we have Zongo getting real close at the end of the DRS zone. Get to Markov right now in P3.
At this point, the only position changes that I am really expecting to see at this point is Lumax and Mathis, as well as Django and Markov. Those four have been fighting out with each other, I think, as long as I can remember in this race, all four of them.
Jigsy right now in the chat saying these tires were just not cooperating. That is a shame to hear. You had an insanely good fight, though, however, with Rivington. So massive, massive props to you. See, Zongo 6/10 behind. Gaining 1/10 so far. Let's see if he has a good entry into the corner. Seems like he went a tiny bit right. Didn't really catch the apex. Still around the same time of gap with him and Markov in front. Right now, this is the only real battle we still have going on right now. The rest of the field has slightly spread out. We have 2 more laps to go of this race. It has been a very, very interesting race so far. Way more DNFs than I expected.
A lot of DNFs, a lot of battling, and everybody sticking really close together, P3 through P6, pretty much the entire race here.
Yes, it is pretty good fight to see. Right now, Zongo once again overtaking Markov on the DRS zone. Let's see if things are going as they are right now. I think
With
both
only
of
two
them...
laps left, it
Yeah.
is anybody's race for P3 here.
Yes, they are both fighting for the podium, and the way it has been going, it really can't be decided already who will end up in that position. Markov sticking extremely close. Wait, let me have a quick look. We have, yeah, Markov with a 3-second penalty. So I think either way, podium goes to Zongo. Unless something extremely bad happens right now to Zongo,
Well,
he
let's
will
not
have the
jinx him,
podium.
shall we?
We will not jinx it. I might have jinxed it right now. But either
Well,
way,
shoot,
it has
jinx,
been...
go away. All right, we're good now.
Either way, this battle has been insane. Insanely good to watch. And also just to, I think, drive it. This battle has been going on for the entirety of the race. Yeah, Wake in P10 with a 3-second penalty, but still pretty good.
We are going to be seeing a lot of stuff shifting around once those penalties are applied to the final podium here.
Yes, so what we can see right now, P1 to P6 have the same positions as they started in. But then we have Bicky, who has gained 5 positions compared to the one he started in. That is pretty good to see that all the people at the back have really fought and won for positions, but also we have all the DNFs counting to that as well. Oh, we have Markov sliding out a tiny bit, still being able to stay within that second. So he can hopefully get that DRS zone. The last lap has officially started with Daxi crossing the finish line just now. So I think we can safely say that we have our P1 and P2, but and our P3, but for the sakes of the battle, let's see what will happen.
I'm really curious to see if we're going to get one last overtake here.
Yes, if we are going to see an overtake, it's going to be right here. Vicky also, once again, with 3-second penalty. He has racked up a lot of penalties. Yeah, 12 seconds. Let's see, let's root if we see some final lap action going on through the slalom with insanely high speeds, all sticking extremely close to each other.
Or as
Markov
we're
with
now calling them, the
intense-
wee-woos.
Yes, the wee-woos. Ooh, getting very close to the back bumper, cutting a tiny bit across, getting track limits, 3-second penalty again. Which also means, if it is bad one, no, never mind. Rivington has too many penalties to gain a position with it. Let's see, they are now going inside the DRS zone, but he also already is so close. Let's see, he probably enabled his ERS side by side. I think Markov has successfully done the overtake.
Let's see if he can make it stick.
Let's see if it can make it stick indeed, and maybe Zongo will fight back as well. It is risky to fight back, but it is oh so much fun.
We're coming here through the very last sector, this very technical bit. If we see an overtake, it's gonna be right here on this last turn.
Yes, Daxi.
But I don't think it's gonna happen.
And Jalmer right now, I think, going over the finish line. We have Markov and Zongo still fighting till the very last moment, going into the final corner right now. If it must happen, it will happen here. It doesn't seem like it, but oh my god, Zongo was so close. We have our P1, P2, and P3. Our podium is done. Let's see the final few cars go over the finish line. And then that will be that. Let's see if... Oh, yeah, I think Wumox will gain a position right here as well, since Bicky has a 12-second penalty. Let's see, that is Bicky over the finish, and then we have Wumox right now also crossing the finish line, winning a position, and the last car on the grid right now, on the track, going past the final corner, and that will be the race. That will be the Texas Grand Prix, the first race of Season 8, Tier 9. Very interesting race to see.
A lot of fun battles. A lot of fun battles that we got to see in a very, very tight grouping through most of the race there, and even up until the last lap, we were still seeing some really close fighting. We never really spread out through a few of those positions there.
Yes, indeed. I want to give massive props to all the cars that have raced today. We have seen a lot of action, and Texas, out of experience, I can say it definitely isn't an easy track. So it was an insanely good race to watch. Thank you all for watching. If you want to participate in these races, join our Discord down in the description or on our website. And hopefully, we'll see you all next race. Thank you very much, and I hope to catch you all later. Bye-bye.